What about, there's a community of people that feel like space is fake. Like, Billy,
Yes.
you're lying. There's nothing out there. NASA actually came from the Nazi. If you look at the word NASA and you look at the word Nazi, extremely similar. And the Nazi scientists formed NASA. And this whole shit that we're talking about is absolutely fake when we see all these images in space. What would you say to that, brother?
Well, I say that they're totally and completely misinformed. And unfortunately, it's due to a lack of pure research. What's happened in the conscious community is a lot of information from people who get a kind of a little bit of a following. They will say something based off of what their opinion is. And then because the people that follow them know them and trust them, the people will run with that information doing no research. We have to understand that there's truth and there's lies in all information that's put out there, okay, about our history and about space and everything else. NASA is the Fourth Reich, in my opinion. In other words, Nazi Germany literally took over NASA and other parts of the government, not because they forced their way in, but because we brought them in. George Bush Sr.'s dad, or George W. Bush Jr.'s grandfather, funded the Nazi movement from an American bank. So he funded the Nazis from American banks. Not only him, Ford, the car Ford, the number one sold car in the world. He also funded the Nazi movement. Matter of fact, he received a star from, which is a type of a certificate or a trophy from Hitler. Mm-hmm. All the Hitler's Jeeps, they came from Ford. They were his Jeeps. Okay? Right. He supplied the Jeeps. Matter of fact, when they were bombing over there in Europe and they were getting too close to the factory, Ford made a phone call to the American government and said, "Hey, stay away from my factory. Don't blow up my Jeeps."
Damn.
All the fuselages for the jets, for the fighter planes and everything else that the Nazis used, guess where that came from? Boeing. So the money came from the Bushes. And then they had other supporters as well. So what happened was an agreement was made, and basically some of the Reich escaped, in my opinion, to Antarctica and other places with some of the technology. But they had Operation Paperclip. And in Operation Paperclip, which you can look up, there were not just a few Nazi scientists. They took in hundreds of Nazi scientists and military personnel, brought them to the United States, and then they put them in key positions of power. They even put Nazis in the CIA. They put Nazis in NASA. They put Nazis in the BAC program, which is the secret space program behind NASA. They put Nazis all throughout the entire government system, and we literally became like a Fourth Reich. And it wasn't because they were trying to go through all of this to make the world think that space was real. No. If you've ever taken any time or energy to get a ticket and go to any of these facilities, the amount of trillions of dollars spent on this technology is not to fool people, that go to work a 9-to-5 job that space is fake. And that, you have to understand there's another level to this thing.